It is time. We're waiting.
Hello? If you guys can hear and see us okay, like, leave a comment or something.
I can't see myself.
You can?
Oh, now I can.
Okay, cool.
It is time. We're waiting. Yeah. Forgot there's a delay. All right. Yeah, everybody can hear us, right? Yeah. Okay.
Sounds like it.
So, everybody.
Myself.
No.
Oh, no, I can't. It is time. Hi.
Some business. Okay, so everybody, welcome to Dach and Dach.
All right.
This is a cooking show, cooking live stream to benefit Polytech High School's National Honor Society and Academic Olympics Program. NHS and AO, they've joined together to form this lovely stream directed and produced by Maria. If you would like to go donate, go to the link in the description. All money donated goes to our school's academic Olympics Teach and Honor Society chapter, and it will directly benefit our students and us. Yeah, our students and us. And, opportunities for fundraising have been pretty sparse this year. We're dirt poor, no money. We can't even feed our students. I mean,
don't say that. Horrible. Don't say that.
All right, fine. We don't need to feed our students. But, if you would prefer to make a cash donation, you can see Dr. DiTucci for more information. And hopefully we can make more events like this in the future. Before we begin, we want to thank all the following people who have already donated. Thank you, Rick McCanney. Thank you, Cindy Efron. Thank you, Christine Smith. Thank you, the Allen family. Thank you, New York Skyline. Thank you, Brianna Michelle. And we would like to also give a special shout out to Mr. Burnetti's daughter, Leah. Hi, Leah.
Hello.
And here today we have Dr. David DiTucci, our history teacher and head of Academic Olympics. And he is going to show Maria Dach, a member of NHS, how to fettuccine Alfredo.
Yes.
And I am your host, Rafael Tremino Bravo.
Thank you, Rafael.
Yeah, no problem.
Before we really get started, we're going to, introduce ourselves a little bit more. But I really want to get this pasta water started so we can, not have to wait too long. So the first thing I'm going to do, I've got a pot full of pasta water over here. Maria's got the same at her kitchen. I'm going to turn that fire on. And then I'm going to add some salt, like a fistful. That'll work.
Now, can you oversalt your pasta?
Well, Rafael, I tried to tell you that you can't oversalt your pasta one time, and you just decided to prove me wrong.
Well, yeah, because...
Here's the thing. You can oversalt your pasta water, but you probably won't.
I mean,
because
5 fistfuls.
Being reasonable about it, the chances of actually oversalting the pasta water are pretty low.
I don't know about that one, Dr. Tucci. I did it one time, and I got to tell you, you could definitely oversalt your pasta.
Well, apparently Rafael can oversalt his pasta, but as long as you don't let's put a ton of salt in the water, you should be okay. Let's put it this way: it should taste like seawater.
That's pretty salty.
About the right amount. Okay.
All right then, I'll take that.
Okay, and you really have to salt your water because that's really the only way that your pasta is going to get salt in it. So that has to be done. Now, there's 2 ways of doing cooking pasta. There is the big pot of water method and then the shallow pot of water method. We're using the big pot of water method because I figure that's what most people are familiar with here.
Isn't the shallow pot a pan?
But a lot of times I'll do the shallow pot, like a pan, like this guy right here. I'll just do my pasta right in there, drain it, and do the sauce right in the same pan. But we're going to go with the traditional route today, and I'll use the big pot of water. The other things we have here, we've got a pound of pasta. I recommended to Maria the Barilla brand. I shopped at Aldi this week, so I was able to find their bronze cut pasta, which is about the same price as the Barilla. The advantage of the bronze cut is that the pasta itself has more texture to it, so it's better able to grab onto the sauce. So if you can get the bronze cut, great. But I use Barilla all the time too, so either one is really fine. I've also got right here a cup of heavy cream, a stick of butter. I use unsalted. If you use salted butter, you'll just add less salt to the sauce, and a wedge of parmesan. Now, you want to make sure you grate the parmesan yourself, because when they use the stuff that comes in the can, the pre-grated stuff, a lot of times they put anti-clumping agents in it, which will affect the texture and thickness of your sauce. So if you want to be able to control that, use the fresh parmesan. Also, it tastes better, because when you cut into it, you start losing the flavor right away. So the faster you can cut into it, or the closer you can cut into it to when you're actually cooking with it, the better.
I guess that makes sense. Yeah. So, Dr. DiTucci, like, why would you cook? Just why?
Why would I cook? Well,
why?
Someone has to cook, right?
Yeah, I know, but like, why would you do it? Like, why is it fun? Is it interesting? Like,
I do enjoy it. So I've been cooking since I was young. Probably, when I was around 10, I was cooking for the family because both my parents worked late. So it, fell on me to make dinner, because they would get home at like 8 o'clock or something like that. So, that's where I started with it. And, it was basic, simple stuff that a 10, 11-year-old could do. And then I ended up enjoying it and started doing more things. I do remember a story though. When I was, I don't know, like 14 or 15, we decided to barbecue one day, and Dad just looked at me and said, "Okay, go handle this." Now, of course, he had shown me how to do the things, but he left it to me to handle the family barbecue that weekend. And, it was just a matter of diving in. He was there watching over my shoulder the whole time. But it meant a lot. It's like, it meant that not only was he teaching me, but, he trusted me to just handle it. And I think those kinds of things. But I get my love for cooking from my family. My parents were both in the restaurant business. We had family restaurants. We had a barbecue place. We had an Italian place. The Italian place was before I was born, but it runs in the family in a lot of ways, and I just enjoy cooking. So I don't know if you've heard of the concept of love languages, but those of us who enjoy cooking, you've heard of this, right, Rafael?
Yeah, French.
Yeah. So
no, it's not French.
So like, there's 5 love languages, and they're like gift giving and quality time and words of affirmation, stuff like this. Well, those of us who enjoy cooking would argue that there's another one, and it's cooking, but it's specifically cooking for people. So I see this as something that to show that you care about someone, you cook something for them that makes them happy.
All right. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, cooking is really important, and, it holds a spiritual value to everybody. What about you, Maria? Out of all the things you could be doing, why cooking? Why? Just why?
I would
How come?
say a similar answer to what Dr. DiTucci said. I mean, most people at school know that once in a while I'll like bake things to share. That was more of a last year thing, but it was definitely my mom that influenced me the most with cooking. We don't have like a super big family or like any family restaurants or stuff like that, but her and I used to go when we lived in like the San Francisco area. They have a lot of like really fancy, like funky restaurants. And so I just learned to like try new foods all the time, and then we would like try to recreate the stuff at home. And she really enjoyed it as a hobby to like show that she cared for me, and then I realized that I found that to be fun too. So yeah, now I cook for myself because I find it enjoyable, but also because it's super rewarding that you're doing something you like, you're feeding people, and you're like giving a gift to someone else. And it looks like a lot of work to someone else, and it was super fun for you. So, yeah.
Hell yeah. I mean, personally, with cooking, I just started because of quarantine. I mean, there was nothing else to do. And I saw Dr. DiTucci's video, Quarantine Cuisine. I was like, yeah, I can make that. And so I oversalted my pasta water and just made the dish. And everybody didn't like it because it was salty. And I was like, you could blame the guy who said you can't oversalt pasta water. But yeah, I mean,
that's that, Rafael. I'm just going to ask you that.
I mean, but overall, you know, I always try to help my mom, you know, whatever I can during those times. And, you know, cooking, I guess, was one of them. And I took interest in it a little bit. You know, whenever I can, I cook for them, or, you know, I just take whatever's in the fridge and just put them together and hope it tastes good. You know, one thing I like is experimenting. You know, if something doesn't look like they go together, I'll try to make it go together, sort of thing. But yeah, I mean, like, that's kind of my view on cooking. You know, both of you.
Well, because your parents are really talented at cooking when I've been to your house before.
Oh yeah, yeah. We're Mexican, of course. Of course, we're talented. Why wouldn't we be? All right. Well, I guess without further ado, I mean, it's time to start cooking. Heat up those pans.
Oh, I just want to ask the audience if they can hear me okay, because I just got a message from someone saying that my mic needs to be turned up.
Yeah, just drop a comment if you're, you know, if you're having trouble hearing Maria there.
Yeah, just before we get rolling.
Yeah, while you're doing that, I'm going to check on my pasta water.
Okay. Yeah, I'm being told it needs to be louder, so give me a second.
All right, so Maria's going to handle that, and I'm going to check on my pasta water over here. It's not boiling yet. So this is really the longest part of it, is waiting for the pasta water to boil. Once we drop the pasta in there, things are going to start happening pretty fast. The sauce really takes about 5 minutes to come together. Now, the reason I picked this to cook for, you know, what may be our first episode of Dach and Dach, is that not only is it easy, I mean, this is something that most people can do and find a lot of success with, but it's a real crowd pleaser. You know, now when I make fresh pasta, it's even a bigger crowd pleaser, but you know, it's a school night. It's a little bit much for a school night, as I told Rafael and Maria.
Yeah, nobody wants to do anything complicated on a school night.
Yeah, I mean, that would take 2 hours, and we're just not live streaming me waiting and sitting and watching pasta rest for 30 minutes. But, you know, even when you're using the dried pasta, it's still a real crowd pleaser. And I think you're going to enjoy it. And, you know, if you can start with something like this, then you can really start to, you know, enjoy cooking like Maria and I both do. We find it relaxing. I know not everyone does. A lot of people find it stressful. We find it relaxing, but also it's because, you know, we've had the experience of being successful with it. And if you can start with something successful, then maybe you can, and simple, then maybe you can build up and come with something, you know, a little bit more complicated. Or if nothing else, you got one recipe in your back pocket, you want to impress someone, there you go.
I mean, I guess it makes sense, yeah.
Yeah.
So how long does the pasta water take to boil?
Oh, 10 to 15 minutes, depending on your stove, depending on the pot, depending on how much salt you put in it. I chose my heavy enameled Dutch oven here. It's cast iron with enamel on it because it heats up fast and retains heat really well. It also, you know, has a nice lid to it. So I figured that would probably be the fastest one to go. The other pan I've got here is just a 12-inch skillet. And the advantage here is this has the slope sides, not the straight sides. If you want to get fancy after you've practiced something, you can do the whole flippy thing. You know, you need the slope sides to do that.
I didn't know you needed a special side span. I just kind of just did it and hope for the best.
And, you know, you don't need a special pan. I have that pan, and that's the one I'm using.
Yeah, true.
You know, use what you have. That's the thing. You know, you'll watch cooking shows where they'll talk about, oh, well, you need to have this thing or that thing. Use what you have. And a lot of times, if you just keep it simple, you'll find some success.
I just go like this because I have no idea how to fix the problem without ending the stream right here. So.
Oh, we're not ending the stream right here. So no, I can hear you pretty well, and you're actually louder for me too.
It's boil.
People in chat tell me if this is better because Dr. DiTucci's audio is good and he's the instructor, so that's really what matters.
This time.
I got this cool mic, so I think everybody can hear me fine.
Awesome. So do we have any questions from the chat, Rafael?
Yeah, any questions from the chat? I said, Cindy Efron said, demo the flippy thing, please. So demo it.
Well, okay, I need pasta to do it, but essentially what you want to do is while you've got your pasta going, you sort of, I'm not great at it, but I can do it sometimes. You sort of let it slide down to that end and just kind of do a wrist flip with it to let the pasta come and make a circle like that. It looks cool, but it's not a thing that you have to be able to do.
Yeah.
But it looks cool.
Yeah, it looks cool.
Yeah.
Anything that looks cool goes.
It's the rule of cool, right?
Yep. That's why I got these glasses.
Exactly. They look great, exactly. Rafael.
They look amazing.
Any other questions from chat?
Questions from chat. Let's see. Fresh pasta is an event. That's true.
Okay, someone's saying there's a switch on the back of my mic that's gonna fix it, but I'm not seeing anything there. So I'm gonna switch it to just the webcam mic because I'm still hearing that it's super low even though I'm going like this.
Okay.
Any more questions?
Or you can ask me a question too, Rafael.
Okay. Why Parmesan? Out of all the cheeses that you could have chosen, you could have chosen anything else, but why Parmesan? It just doesn't make sense to me. Like, you could have chosen pepper jack, American cheese, the mix between mozzarella, but you chose Parmesan. Like, what? Don't look at me like that. It doesn't make sense to me. Like, you could literally choose anything else other than Parmesan. Like, you did this in your, you used it in your spaghetti carbonara video, Parmesan for this, and then Parmesan for Alfredo. Like, why? Like, what's the point? Or, like, okay, what's so special about it?
So, okay, I'll give you the look at you like, like, why are you asking me this question? Answer. So, Parmesan flavor, meltability. So if you try to put in a pepper jack or something like that, it will melt in a different way. Pepper jack is great if you're making queso. Okay, I would never put Parmesan in queso because Parmesan is an 18-month aged cheese from the Parma region of Italy. If you really want to get into it, okay. Now, it may not all come from Italy, but that's where the origin is. It's a hard cheese, so it's going to melt at a certain smoke point. So that's why we're going to grate it. We're going to make sure we use the small side of our grater to get the smallest pieces. And then when it melts, it creates the sauce and the consistency of sauce that you want. Furthermore, while we're on the subject of the recipe itself, there's two traditional ways to make fettuccine Alfredo. Now, I did not invent this recipe, so, I'm not the one who you can blame for using Parmesan. However, there's two ways. The sort of Italian way would be to use no cream and to only use pasta water to thicken your sauce. We're doing the more traditional method, which I believe originated in New York in the late 19th century, where we use cream. So if I did use something other than Parmesan, it wouldn't be Alfredo.
What would it be then?
It would be something different. I don't know. Why don't you try it with pepper jack and we call it fettuccine alla Rafael?
I mean, I'll make it better than Alfredo. I mean, that guy, I'm just saying, bro, Alfredo, overrated.
I don't know. You haven't tried this yet. So, Maria, how's your pasta water doing?
That's true.
It's almost boiling. I switched to another mic, so please tell me if this is...
You're super low.
It's still low?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry. hey, this is our first try at this. And when we were testing it out, because we tested it out last week, all our levels were fine, but you know, Murphy's Law, right?
Yeah, that guy, Murphy. I tell you.
Yeah. So what else you got for me, Rafael?
Oh, can you add, so how good of an idea is chicken Alfredo?
Okay, it's a great idea. So when I do Alfredo, a lot of times, and I decided not to do it today because I'm just keeping it simple for today. But chicken goes great with Alfredo. And what I'll often do is something called chicken and butter. It's delicious, but it's chicken cooked in butter. So essentially what you do is you pound out your chicken breasts as flat as you can get them, dredge them through flour, okay, just to get a light coating on them, and pan fry them in a stick of butter until they're brown and crispy on both sides and delicious. It's fantastic, but it's chicken cooked in butter. Someone asked me today, you know, how many points is this worth? You don't want to know. You don't want to know. This is a Weight Watchers thing if you don't know, Rafael.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. So, like, this is, you know, I classify foods as being, you know, good for the body, good for the mind, good for the soul. This is the kind of food that's good for the soul. And for foods that are good for the soul, we don't worry about how many points it is, or, you know, because it makes our souls happy.
I guess that's all that matters. As long as our souls are
well,
happy.
Other things matter. You have to have nutrition as well.
I mean, I guess.
But back on the subject of, you know, things you can add to it, you can use chicken, like you mentioned. You can do shrimp. Shrimp Alfredo is great. Just do a little bit of a quick, just like a grilled shrimp on there, maybe with some blackened seasoning or something like that works too. You can also add like chopped up spinach to it.
Chocolate spinach? Wait, did I hear you? Did you say chocolate, right?
I said chopped up spinach.
Oh, chopped up spinach. I don't know what went through my head, but I swore you said chocolate spinach, and I was about to freak out because I never heard of that.
That might be another Rafael invention, in addition to the fettuccine a la Rafael.
I mean, that doesn't sound too bad.
Yeah. So, no, chopped spinach works in there. Mushrooms are good, too.
What about beef?
Beef? I've not tried it with beef. I think, I don't know. You'd have, maybe with like a medium rare sirloin, sort of on the side, that would work.
What about bologna?
But if you're going to go beef, you might want to do the beef on the side and maybe add mushrooms to the Alfredo sauce just to sort of give you those flavors that work well together. That umami from the mushrooms goes really well.
Yeah.
Okay,
all right,
should we start grating the cheese?
Well, is your water boiling yet?
Almost. I also changed more audio settings, so...
Well, this is what our audio settings are going to have to be, that's all.
Yeah, I honestly, there's no other option that I can think of, so I'm sorry, guys.
Yep, sorry, everyone. Yeah, so what I figured is once the water is boiling, and mine is, you can tell, because there's steam. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but there's steam. There's definitely steam coming out of it.
Yep, that's steam.
So yeah, that water is boiling. But I can wait for yours so that our pasta can be done around the same time. Right. And then what I figure is once we drop the pasta, then we can start grating some cheese.
Okay.
And again, this is going to start happening pretty quickly. Go ahead.
I just got multiple messages saying my audio's fine.
Oh, awesome. I'm so glad to hear it. Yay. Okay. Hey, Rafael, why don't you go ahead and plug the PayPal while we're waiting for that water to finish boiling.
All right, guys. So you think this stream is cool? You know what you should do right now? Give us money through the PayPal. Or I guess, in other words, donate. We'd really appreciate it. Maria has put a lot of work into this. I am putting a lot of work into this. Dr. DiTucci's putting a lot of work into this. I guess I'm putting some work into it. The point is, we need some donations for NHS and AO. And any donation, a penny, half a penny, quarter of a penny, anything would work. Okay? So, yeah, that's my plug.
Yeah.
Anything would work.
Yeah.
Maria, are you ready?
saw the pinned comment. If you donate, depending on the donation amount, we will give you a thank you of some kind. It's a surprise, but after the stream, we'll get that all worked out and get you some recognition, whether it's like physical or digital prize. So keep that in mind.
And, you know, depending on how today's go, we have thoughts about maybe further episodes. So we'll see how today's goes, and, you know, we'll go from there.
Yeah.
But you know, if you're subscribed to this channel and we do have more episodes, then you'll get a notification for that.
Yeah. Smash that bell.
Smash that bell.
Kill it.
Like and subscribe, right?
Destroy it.
Yeah.
And subscribe.
Is that the words we're supposed to use?
We may make more.
Something like that, yeah.
Something like that.
All right.
How's that pasta water doing?
Chat is going crazy because they don't know what I'm eating.
We're boiling? Awesome. Awesome. So let's go ahead and drop our pasta while Rafael eats his bologna and I get my microphone off camera.
Bologna is great. So underrated.
It's really not.
Nobody asked. Like, no.
I don't know. I haven't had it in a while, so maybe if I did, then I might change my mind, but I don't remember liking it.
I mean, it's not
Leave your
horrible.
lid off while the pasta water is boiling, so it doesn't boil over.
Okay.
And then tongs.
Bologna is disgusting. Man, everybody's hating on me for bologna.
Okay. I do like Spam, though, so I can't really say it.
Well, there is that. Okay, you ready to grate some cheese?
Yes.
All right. So I have here a wedge of Parmesan. If you're going to measure it, it's about 2/3 of a cup. I don't usually measure it that much. So maybe about half of this, or about halfway down that. Should be about 2/3 of a cup. And that should be pretty much what we need there. I've already gone ahead and measured out the heavy cream, which you see in the measuring cup there. So that should take care of that. And then, of course, we have a stick of butter. And I always have salt and pepper right there next to the stove, so I can just be ready when that's ready to go. In addition, I have a couple things to add on the end, not necessary, but it is kind of cool. I got some oregano, a little bit of basil from the garden, both of them from the garden. And I'm going to put those on at the end just to give it a little brightness towards the end and sort of help balance a lot of the fattiness that is going on in the sauce itself.
Yeah.
What
Get to grate it.
setting should I grate it on?
The small holes.
Okay. I was doing the biggest one, so.
Ah.
Dr. DiTucci is fast, bro.
Use the small holes because it'll melt faster that way.
Yeah. That makes sense.
If you smash that down, that's about 2/3 of the cup.
Yeah, I think I broke my stand mixer trying to grate it with it.
Stand mixer for grating.
Or not? Was it a stand mixer? I forgot what I used. Point is,
About that much Parmesan.
there was like a grating attachment, and I kind of just broke that while
You mean
grating
a
it.
food processor?
Yeah.
That's different than a stand mixer.
I've cut my
Sorry.
finger on this before.
Oh,
yeah.
It didn't work.
Yeah. I cut my fingers on all sorts of things in the kitchen. And we just want to make sure that our fettuccine is not sticking. You can see there it's starting to stick.
Yeah.
Now, the cooking shows will tell you that to follow the directions on the package for your pasta. And that's a good place to start. You can absolutely be fine if you follow the directions on the pasta. Or on the package. But when you've cooked a lot of pasta, I think I mentioned this in my carbonara video, when you cooked a lot of pasta, you can look at it and know when it's done. Don't do the throw it against the wall trick.
That's no fun.
Yeah, that's,
Well, I mean,
that's
okay,
so lame.
Fine. If you want to do it for fun, do it for that. But that's not the test. The test is to take a piece out and put it in your mouth and chew it and see if it's where you want it to be. You always want to slightly undercook your pasta. So it should have a little bit of what they call bite to it, or al dente. It should still have a little bit of a bite to it, because not only is it, you want it not to be mushy, but it's going to cook more after you drain it, and when you put it in the sauce.
All
Mom,
right.
Maria,
This is how
you
much
do it.
cheese I have. Is that a good amount?
That looks good.
Okay.
Yeah, that looks good. About 2/3 to 1 cup.
All right. I'll make sure it is.
Okay. Sometimes I measure. Measuring is for baking.
Because I
Sometimes.
brought out my scale if I wanted to be really fancy, because I thought maybe you were into that, but...
Oh, we can do scale.
Well, I've never used it before, so I'd rather...
Never use a scale?
I just wanted to look...
So if you want to do the scale method, here's my scale. I'm going to go ahead and dump that out. And set my scale to tare. So that way you can zero it out. Now I am using 3 ounces of Parmesan. Almost exactly.
Oh, it smells so good.
Parm is
So
pretty
3 ounces
overpowered.
of Parmesan will work.
Yeah. So you mentioned that you don't really measure
I mean,
what you put.
not always.
I mean, is there a reason? Is it just to make the process faster? Or do you just like already know how much relatively?
I have been doing this long enough where I know approximately how much. I'm not going to say I never mess it up, but I usually get it pretty much right. Okay, so like with baking you have to be precise because it's chemistry. And you want to make sure things rise properly and all this stuff. Cooking is also chemistry. However, the chemistry of cooking is so complex and there are so many unknowns to it that, you know, you really sort of have to just taste it. So I could take out 2 cans of tomatoes, or I could pick 2 fresh tomatoes, and they will all taste different based on their salt content and sugar content. So really tasting it is the only way to know whether something is salty enough or whatever flavor you're going for. Okay. So I tend to eyeball things, and but I also have I kind of know how much to put in. I guess my answer to the question, how much do I put in, is always enough, which is frustrating to bakers especially. I'm going to go ahead and turn my pan on for the sauce. Maria, if you want to hit that too.
Hold on. I was opening the heavy whipping cream, and the
thing came off?
and it's like stuck. So
okay. Take a spoon.
Okay.
And take the narrow end of the spoon,
Yeah.
and put it on there and just pop it. You'll pop it right down in.
Or just open it like a milk carton.
Or you could open it like a milk carton.
Yeah, I'm gonna just do that.
If elementary school taught me anything, it's how to open a milk carton.
Yes.
Yes. All right, let's see what chat has to say. It's too many pogs, bro. A lot of people. Oh, here's something. All right. Armand says, "Do we have to do AP for A push, the homework A to B? Do we have to do it?"
Tell them to ask the syllabus.
Ask the syllabus.
Dang.
And everybody's going crazy. They want you to say Pog.
Just Pog?
Yeah, just Pog.
Pog. You're welcome.
You just pleased the whole crowd.
That's what I'm here for.
Now.
Yeah.
No,
the Pogs aren't free.
Now they're going to cost you money.
Going to cost
First
money.
one's free.
All right, I'm ready for the sauce now.
All right, so just go ahead and start heating up your pan. The first thing you have to do is melt your butter.
Are we doing like a medium heat?
Mine's on low.
Okay.
What you want to make sure you don't do is brown that butter. So we're going to go low, and we're going to let it melt slowly until it starts to simmer a little. You get some bubbles out of it. when you melt butter, you will get bubbles. That's water boiling off. So you don't need water in there. So if you want to let the bubbles boil off, I can turn this up a little bit, so medium low, to get a little bit more speed to it. But
now, can you use oil instead of butter?
no,
No oil.
not for Alfredo.
Not for Alfredo.
Not even the Italian. So the Italian version, which doesn't use cream, also uses butter. So you're not going to want to use oil for that. It won't come together right.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Also, oil and butter taste very different.
And what kind of butter?
This is store brand unsalted butter.
Unsalted?
Unsalted. I use unsalted because I bake sometimes. And I prefer to control the amount of salt in there. Now, if you look at, I don't know if you can see that really well, but here, I'm starting to get bubbles around the edge of this butter. So we want to make sure we don't let it brown, but we also want to let that water boil off.
Nobody likes burnt butter.
What's that?
Said nobody likes burnt butter.
Well, brown butter is good for some things. Maria made some brown butter cookies recently that were fantastic.
Oh.
Yeah, I've made brown butter cookies that I've given you, Rafael, and you said it was pretty good.
Well, how was I supposed to know that they were brown butter? I didn't even know butter brown.
It's the secret ingredient in making
a lot
of baked items good.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that's true.
I think my pasta will be ready in like 2 minutes.
Okay, so once your butter starts bubbling, go ahead and add your cream.
Okay, I'm not there yet.
Okay. And I'm going to use a whisk to sort of bring it together.
Okay.
You want it to bring it to a simmer because it's at the simmer where the butter and cream start to come together.
Okay.
So here I'm just going to give it a stir and let it come up to temperature. Meanwhile, get rid of that. I'm also going to salt and pepper it. A decent pinch of salt. Don't go overboard on salt because Parmesan is salty.
Yeah.
Got it.
That's for you, Rafael.
I know what you said.
All right, now mine is starting to bubble a little bit. I'm going to turn it down to low, but it's not come together yet. Now I can let this simmer for a little bit, or let it just sort of stay warm for a little bit before we really get going on the next phase.
All right, cool.
Is yours ready to drop the cream?
No, the butter's still melting, but I turned it up a little bit, so I would say in a minute it'll be good.
Okay, how's your pasta look?
Let's taste it.
Okay.
Oh, that's hot.
I can tell mine's not done.
So,
yeah.
Well, when did this whole pasta against the wall thing, like, what was the reasoning behind it? Or how did that work?
So if it sticks to the wall, it's done, is the idea behind it, because it's soft enough to stick. But you can overshoot that way.
Oh, like
So,
it's overdone?
Yeah.
So, like, if I throw the pasta, like, really, really, really hard,
Mm-hmm.
and it's, like, not done, but it splatters anyway, that's the issue?
Say that again, please.
Like, the issue comes when the pasta's not done,
Yeah.
and you just throw it at the wall really hard to make it forcibly stick, right?
No, it's not that. It's when it's overdone.
It's overdone.
So you taste it to make sure you don't overshoot the doneness. So
okay.
All right,
So
so I'm going to take one out. I'm going to take one out here. Okay. And I can tell by looking at it that it's probably close. But the only way to tell is to chew on it. It needs to go another minute. It's chewy, but a little too chewy. So maybe half a minute even.
Right.
Meanwhile, this sauce is starting to get too hot, so I'm going to turn it off. But you can see it's come together now, and it's mostly one thing. I'm going to turn that off and wait for Maria's to be ready to go.
All right. Let's see.
How are you looking over? Go ahead.
I think I can bring this over.
Okay.
Just so you guys can see. Can you see that? It's almost, the butter is almost melted.
It's getting done.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, you can turn that up a little bit. You're using, I think an induction cooktop. I'm using gas, so mine's a little bit faster.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
That's the difference.
All right, I'm ready to roll now.
Ready?
All right. So first things first. I've got a measuring cup here. I'm going to grab some of that pasta water out of the pot and reserve it.
How much?
As much as you can fit in this one cup without spilling.
Okay.
Oh, is this what you call tempering, or?
No, tempering has to do with eggs.
Oh, right.
So that pasta water is full of starch and salt. So it's not only delicious, but it will add thickness to your sauce. And that's the secret to most pasta sauces. In fact, in traditional Italian style Alfredo, instead of cream, you use that as a thickener. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and drain my pasta right now.
Okay. I will do
It's going to off camera, but I think everyone knows how to drain pasta.
Yeah, I'm going to be off camera, so if Rafael wants to look at the comments again or something.
All right, here we go.
They're leaving me.
All right, so I've got right here cooked pasta, and it's still in the colander. Okay, let me turn that way. I've got my sauce, which I've turned off, but it's ready for the Parmesan. I need to get that back up to temperature so that Parmesan will be able to melt. I'm going to go medium low on that and just give it a good stir. Where are you at, Maria?
I've drained the pasta. Do I put it back in the pot?
I left it in the colander.
Okay.
But either way is fine. You probably can't see
Any questions?
what that looks like on camera, but it looks darker in the middle than it does on the outside, and that's when it's still al dente. Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right. So my sauce is warm. I'm going to turn off the fire. You might want to remove it from the heat, and I'm going to add my Parmesan. I'm going to give that a stir until the Parmesan melts.
I don't add the cream yet, do I?
Oh, add the cream, bring it up to a boil. I missed that you weren't there yet.
Okay, sorry.
Add the cream, bring it up to a boil. And now, if you can see that, it is nice and thick. Okay, so now that my sauce is hot, my pasta is still hot, here's the important part. You want to always sauce your pasta in the pan.
Always.
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 And do a little bit at a time.
What about, like, I usually don't do that because then when I store it, it makes the pasta all soggy.
Okay, that's a good question. So I'm only doing this for illustrative purposes. When I make this dish specifically, I will only do this with as much as I'm going to serve for the day. So the saucing it in the pot is the serving portion. Okay. If I'm going to, so I will make just enough pasta. Okay, let me start again. I will make the pasta that I'm making. All right. I will make the sauce I'm making. When it's time to do this, I will only do this for as much pasta as I need to serve for that time. Okay. When it is time to do leftovers, I will heat it up in the pan and add the pasta to the pan then too, and warm them up together.
Gotcha.
Okay. Like that.
Looking real good.
That's looking pretty good. Now I'm doing this for just to illustrate it. I would not sauce this and all of this in the pan because no one else is here to eat it. So I'm not going to eat a pound of pasta, I assure you.
I mean, but you could.
Yeah. If I did that, y'all wouldn't see me tomorrow.
Or we could.
Oh no.
We
DiTucci
could. So if you're going to reheat this after you sauce it, for this pasta specifically, melt butter in the pan and then slowly heat it up, because if you don't do that, your sauce will break. Now, another thing that I'm going to do here is add just a little bit of this pasta water.
Wait, could you define how pasta sauce breaks?
The elements of it will come together. So you'll end up with some cheesy bits at the bottom and an oil slick on top. How's yours looking over there, Maria?
The sauce looks really good. Should I lower it to low and then put the pasta in?
I turned mine off to put the pasta in.
Okay.
Everybody says to slide the pasta to school. Everybody wants the pasta, but nobody wants to make it.
Well, that's why we're showing you how to make it.
Exactly.
I usually try to work pretty quickly when I'm doing this too. So like you grab a big hunk and you incorporate it and grab it, just sort of like do it quickly. I don't know if you were able to notice that, but now the other thing I'm going to do is, while I'm waiting on Maria to be in the same place, I'm going to grate a little bit more of that Parmesan.
More Parmesan?
Hey, like I said, this is good for the soul.
True, but can you over cheese the pasta?
I mean, probably.
Duh.
Is it weird if I put lemon zest on it?
Nutmeg.
Yes.
Nutmeg.
Nutmeg. I got some.
Nutmeg.
What is nutmeg?
What's that?
Why nutmeg?
Yeah.
So I've not tried nutmeg before.
So why are you telling us about nutmeg?
Ooh, just a tiny bit. Okay, I'm going to try it now.
Yeah, I put just a little bit.
Like that. Oh, you can't even see that. So like it's just a bare sprinkle of nutmeg. So nutmeg, and this is starting to. There we go. Nutmeg is often used in Italian cream sauces, and it's common to use nutmeg in Italian cream sauces. I'll let you know how this one comes out.
All right.
All right. So now we're ready to plate. I like to serve pasta in a bowl. I have these nice big, shallow bowls that are nice and broad. Now, if you want to be fancy, you twirl it in the middle and make a nest out of it.
Ooh.
But you don't have to do that. Oh, let's try this real quick. You ready to make a mess?
Oh snap! Do it! Do it!
Oh.
You're doing it!
Poggers?
Yeah, that.
Poggers! I gotta do it like this.
Awesome.
Poggers!
So that looks cool, but like it helps it stir really well. So there we go. So now I'm gonna plate. I'm gonna grab a big old hunk, and since I'm using tongs, if you want to nest it, you just put it down there and give it a twist. Make it look all nice, fancy. That's not enough. That's not enough. This is all I made. I gotta have more than that.
Exactly.
Don't worry, I'll have a salad later to go with this. And
Oh man, this guy's going over
voila.
the top.
We have a delicious plate of fettuccine Alfredo. Now let's come over here.
10 out of 10.
Give it a little herbage, some oregano, a little bit of basil. Don't tear it up in there. Top it off with some extra that Parmesan cheese. And give it a shot.
What about you, Maria? How'd it come out?
I'll bring the camera over here. It looks pretty good. I didn't do the twirl thing, but If you can see, I put some pepper and some grated cheese.
Pepper's good too. I like that idea. I'm gonna put pepper on mine. The nutmeg works. The nutmeg works.
It works.
Just a tiny bit. So,
A bit of pepper.
I'm going to get this one more because it's just too delicious not to.
Oh yeah, I gotta try mine.
Man, I'm just over here with my bologna. A bunch of bologna.
Delicious. How's your bologna, Rafael?
I mean, not bad. I'm already like halfway to the container. It's not horrible.
Okay, so this is better for you than half a container of bologna. I'll say that.
I don't know about that. You just put like more cheese on there. Said it was good for the soul. I think there's more.
My soul feels fulfilled right now.
Fulfilled.
This is. I just want to admit, I told Dr. DiTucci this already, but no, I haven't said it in the stream. I don't like Alfredo, but this is incredible.
Unbelievable. Why are we doing this then?
Because then he proved me wrong.
What?
This was really good.
You should have said something before the stream.
Yeah,
all right, guys, we're
like
ending the stream here.
Surprise ending.
The plot twist was
Maria twist. Hey, well, it's good. So, all right, Rafael, you want to take us out?
All right. I mean, I guess this is the end, right? That's
yeah, we have delicious food now, and honestly, I haven't eaten since like 10:30, so I'm hungry.
Yeah, everybody's hungry. So yeah, I mean, thank you guys for watching. I mean, hopefully we can do more of this in the future. And, thanks again to everybody who contributed. Principal, vice principal, all of AO and NHS. Thank you guys very much for helping us out in this. Of course, special thanks to Maria and Dr. DiTucci. You guys did amazing with that Alfredo. And yeah, once again, if you want to keep seeing stuff like this, donate. We have no money. I want to buy a car with these donations. I mean,
no, we're not going that much.
We want to go that far, though. So please.
No, we would like to keep doing these episodes, and Maria and I have some good ideas for some things that we think you may like. So, if you do, give us some likes, give us some donates, let us know if you enjoyed the show.
Yeah, comment if you have any feedback in terms of, like, video quality being higher, audio, what you want to see from us, blah, blah, blah.
And maybe we'll work in some, other elements and subscription options to future episodes if this one ends up being successful.
Yeah, if.
Okay.
All right, then.
All right, I'm going to turn this off then.
All right, thanks, guys, for joining us.
Bye-bye.
This has been Cooking with Dach and Dach. You have a great night.
All right, see y'all, fellas. Bye-bye. Just going to keep